Assalamu alaikum. Hope everyone is doing well. Today we'll be going over pronouns. So in the coming chapters, there'll be many scenarios where a pronoun, damir, is used with a fragment. Therefore, before continuing with fragments, it's important to iron out the concept of a pronoun. So let's get right into it. A pronoun is an ism that is used as a substitute for another ism. You usually use it to avoid repetition. For example, you would use he, she, they, you, I, and we. They're all pronouns. So instead of saying while Omar was playing basketball, Omar took a shot, but Omar missed, you can just say Omar was playing basketball, he took a shot, but he missed. So in Arabic, there are two types of pronouns, which are detached pronouns and attached pronouns. So a pronoun that is detached essentially means that there are no words attached to it, like huwa, which means he, and a pronoun that is attached means that the pronoun is connected to another word, in this case, kitabu, and kitabuhu means his book. The little ha here at the end is the attached pronoun. Now we'll look into the definiteness of pronouns. So pronouns are specific. If you remember, this is our list of words that make something specific. So we have pronouns here, we have associated words, mudaf, we have pointing words, ism al-ishara, we have connecting words, ism mawsul, we have proper names, and then we have the one being called munada. We'll go over these at a later time, but if you remember, we originally learned that a word is made specific by attaching an al to the front of it and making the ending light, like al-kitabu, the al right here, and the ending is light. Therefore, this is a specific word, and this means the book. But since pronouns are referring to a specific entity, they are specific by default. So, for example, he is over there. This is understood to mean that he is referring to a specific person rather than any person amongst the group. Therefore, pronouns will always be specific. So here's the chart of the detached pronouns, the damir munfasil, and let's go over it. So we have huwa, which is the third person masculine singular form, which means he. Then we have huma, which is the third person masculine dual form, which means they when you're referring to two people. And then we have hum, which is the third person masculine plural form, which means they when you're referring to three or more people. Then we have hiya, which is third person feminine singular, which means she, and then huma, third person feminine dual, which means they when you're referring to two people, and then hunna, which is third person feminine plural when you're referring to three or more people. And then we have anta, which is second person masculine singular, which means you, and then you have antuma, which is second person masculine dual when you're referring to two people, and then you have antum, which is second person masculine plural when you're referring to three or more people. And then you have anti, which is second person feminine singular, which means you. And then you have antuma, which is second person feminine when you're referring to two people. And then you have antunna, which is second person feminine plural, which also means you when you're referring to three or more people. And then finally, we have ana, which is first person singular, which means I. And then we have nahnu, which is first person plural, which means we. Next, we have attached pronouns, damir muntasil. So unlike English, in Arabic, pronouns can attach themselves to words. They can be attached to an ism, fi'il, or harf, and while attached, they might look different. So let's go over this chart. So we have kitabuhu, which is third person masculine singular, and it means his book. This ha here right at the end is the same as the detached form huwa, but in the attached form, it's going to look like this. Then we have kitabuhuma, which is the third person masculine dual, which means their book when referring to two people. And then we have kitabuhum, which is third person masculine plural, which means their book when referring to three or more people. And both of these look exactly like their detached form, they're just attached at the end. And then we have kitabuha, which is third person feminine singular, which means her book. This is the same as hiya in the detached pronouns list, but it's gonna look like this when it's attached to a word. And then we have kitabuhuma, which is third person feminine dual, which means their book when referring to two people. And then we have kitabuhunna, which is third person feminine plural when referring to 3 or more people, and these two also look exactly the same as their detached forms, except they're attached at the end now. Now we have kitabuka, which is second person masculine singular, which means your book, and this is the same as anta, except it's gonna look like this when attached. And then we have kitabukuma, which is second person masculine dual, which means your book when referring to 2 people. And then we have kitabukum, which is second person masculine plural when referring to 3 or more people, which also means your book. And then you have kitabuki, which is second person feminine singular, which also means your book. Then we have kitabukuma, which is second person feminine dual, which means your book when referring to 2 people. And then we have kitabukunna, which is second person feminine plural, which means your book when referring to 3 or more people. And then finally, we have kitabi, which is my book, which is first person singular. And then we have kitabuna, which is our book, which is first person plural. Also note that some of the has amongst the third person pronouns can be written with the kasra. So for example, you wouldn't have huma, you would have hima, or you would have him instead of hum, or you would have hinna instead of hunna. This is done for pronunciation depending on the word. It doesn't mean that the status has been changed. Now let's look at the status of pronouns. The detached pronouns will always be in a state of rafa. Any detached pronoun is automatically rafa, so that's easy. But an attached pronoun can either be nasab or jar. You should know that the attached pronoun for huwa can end with a kasra or dhamma. This doesn't show the status, it's just due to phonetics. And remember that pronouns is from our list of non-flexible, meaning غير munsarif, so their endings won't show us their true state. And that's all for today, so I'll catch you guys next time.